Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Frankly FM84. Big thank you for coming back and joining me on another video right here on YouTube. So if you were with us yesterday or you've been across the channel in the past couple of days, you will know that we are doing the Paris FC rebuild. We are trying to use the children of the French Revolution, and that basically means we are only using players under the age of 21. In yesterday's episode, we had gone through the summer transfer window in Season 3. We showed you the players that we had bought to try and strengthen the squad up. We also showed you the players that had left the club as we tried to make gaps to strengthen. In today's episode, we have pushed forwards to the 3rd of February 2024, and that means we are now through the winter transfer window. In today's episode, we're going to show you all the transfer activity that's happened. It's not a lot of it, but we're going to show you anyway. We are also going to run through the schedule and show you how we have got to this point in the season, show you the competitions tab and show you where we are getting on. And also a quick look at the assistant report for our best 11 as we look to progress to the end of Season 3. Let's jump into this one though. You might be able to tell looking at the screen, we start off with the transfers. We're going to start off with players out because that is the only area that has actually got anything to talk about. So looking over on the right hand side then, we have let a few players go. Christ Mukalenge is the first one. Couldn't get in our first team. We have moved him on. Tried to get a bit of money in the bank to try and go out and get replacements, but didn't really pay off. 205,000 for him. Maxime Bernauer has gone out for £900,000. He has gone to Almeria. So 900,000 not a bad amount of money. However, we did need it to cover most of the wages, and if there was players out there in this transfer window that are bargains, I would have bought them, but there just wasn't. So that money actually is pretty much just sitting there, clearing a few debts off at the club. The other players to leave was Riyad Talbi, Johan Dimonsi and Matthias Tal all went out on loan. Matthias Tal is a player that has actually popped up on a Wonder Kid report or two. I just cannot get the kid firing. He just does not look like a decent footballer when he plays in my first team. Playing in the second team, he looks a little bit better, but I'm just wondering whether he has a level. Once you get him to that level, just isn't going to do anything going forwards. So then, that is the transfer window wrapped up. No players coming in, so nobody really needed in terms of plugging gaps. We have a decent enough squad. We have a large squad because we can still use our second team, and we have a maximum limit of 99 players that we can have at the team. But we did have to let a few players go, and we did try to recoup a bit of money. Didn't generate enough to go and buy players. So let's have a look at the schedule tab. We're going to go straight into this, and we are going to show you how we have got to this point in the season. Obviously, you don't know where we are in the table yet unless you look at the top of the screen. But let's run you through. So when we left yesterday, we had just lost 3-1 to Lille in a disappointing result that saw Leslie Ugochukwu sent off. We then continued that form, a 4-2 loss to Lyon. 2 goals from Diaby Fadiga, but it wasn't enough. They were 2 late goals. Rennes, we lost 2-0 to them as well. And we had 2 players sent off just for fun. Camille and Nasiala Makengo getting themselves sent off there. But then we started to turn it around, or at least it looked like we were going to start to turn it around. A 3-1 victory against Nantes as Theo, Ugochukwu and Pintor scored the goals there. Le Havre, we swept aside 5-2. Goals from Bondo, Kathleen, Bernauer and Hausney. PSG were up next. We fought really, really hard against our neighbours. We really did try to hold our own. We lost 3-2. I mean, we did score our goals late. Lewandowski had already got a hat-trick. 33, 41, 54. However, we did fight back. Billy Comitio getting his first goal for the club, and now Javi getting a goal in the 90th minute meant that Paris Saint-Germain were actually blowing pretty hard come the end of the game because we kept the pressure on until the end, but ultimately they got the 3 points. We then lost to Marseille 3-1. Got crushed there. Chengding under Ruslan Malianovsky and Duj Chaleta Char scoring those goals. Nice was up next, a 4-2 loss there. Brahimi, Delort, Dolberg and Ben Davies. Is this the Ben Davies from Liverpool? It is indeed. Ben Davies scoring a goal against me for Nice. Very nice. Mara and Diaby Fadiga getting our 2 goals in that game. We then played Bordeaux and beat them 2-1 at home with goals from Fadiga and Bondo. Berned scoring for them. Reims, we beat 2-0. Kathleen and Ugachukwu getting the goals as we got 3 points there. Lorient, we beat 1-0 as Kathleen scored. And all of a sudden now, we were on a run of games where we were winning and winning quite convincingly. A 2-1 victory against Strasbourg. Nasala, Makengo and Mara getting the goals there. And then it come to a complete halt as we got beat by Saint Etienne, with Bernauer getting himself sent off. But the damage was already done at that point. We were behind in the game and couldn't get back in. We then beat Lens 3-1 in Ligue 1. 2 goals for Mara and a goal for Jabi. Cuisant scoring for Lens. And then we beat Paris 13 Atletico. Not too sure what division they're from, but this was the Coupe de France 9th round. We swept them aside 3-1 with goals from Okachukwu, Garland and Mapasi. So a bit of a rotated team getting the job done there. We then went and beat Amiens 3-2 in the 10th round with goals from Pintor, Jabi and Mara before we lost to Monaco 2-0 in the league, and then turned that around with a 2-1 victory in Montpellier with goals from Theo and Bondo. We were actually behind in that game and come back from behind to win. We then drew 1-1 with Lille. Jonathan David scoring for them, Siku Mara scoring for us. And then we drew 2-2 against Guingamp before losing on penalties. Guesen scoring 2 for them. Pintor and Jabi scoring for us. Pintor and Undiai missed penalties in the shootout, which knocked us out of the Coupe de France. So then let's have a little look at the competitions before we fill the rest of the gaps in. You can see at this point of the season we are in 7th place. 19 games played, 31 points collected, 10 wins, only the single draw at this point in the season. We either win or we lose, and we have 1 draw. We also score 2, concede 2, pretty much every single game. We have a 0 goal difference at this point after 19 games and 31 points to show. Before we jump and break into that though, or break that down should I say, let's show you the finances at the club. So after that transfer window, there is 4.3 thousand, not million, thousand, £4,324 in the transfer budget. The wage budget is 216,000 and we are currently spending 206, so we have a bit of a gap there. In terms of the overall balance of the club though, 6.7 million in the red is not a good look. I think if we don't pick our performances up in Ligue 1, we are going to struggle going forwards. We need to get some money from somewhere. It might be a player or 2 that gets moved on to clear those debts once again. Club vision then, develop players using the club's youth system. They are devastated. As I said in yesterday's episode, we are now relying more on Lyon, Monaco, PSG and Marseille's youth teams. We are just going and picking players up that they are bringing through or releasing. So I can understand them being devastated about us not developing our own players. Player counter-attacking football, they're pleased with that. Sign players from the lower leagues of the domestic game. I don't know where that's come from because I don't think I've done that, but they're delighted, so we'll take that one. Play entertaining football, pleased. I said yesterday that we were playing entertaining football. When you have a goal difference of 0, you can't help play entertaining football. Our job security currently is untouchable, but going forwards in the 5-year plan, they want to work within the wage budget on course, sign players to sell for a profit. Devastated. Minimum 2-year contracts for the first team as we are doing that. In terms of the end of the current season, they want to avoid relegation. I think at this point, 7th place in the league, we are miles above a relegation fight. I think they have every right to be delighted with that because we are doing a great job. The Coupe de France reached the 10th round at a minimum. We have passed that too, so they are all happy there. In terms of actual things they are disappointed about, 2-0 loss to Monaco in the league. That is pretty much it. We have an A+ as a rating. So then back to the competitions tab. Let's break it down. Let's go into the Liga 1 Uber Eats. And you can see PSG are top of the table, leading the way. 19 played, 15 won, 3 drawn, 1 loss, 41 goal difference and 48 points. Mr. Lewandowski is the man for them. But our own performance, we're going well. Played 19, won 10, drawn 1, lost 8, no goal difference and 31 points. So at this point in the season, I think we are doing well. We are on the tails of Lyon and Monaco, a little gap then to Nice and a bit of a bigger gap to Marseille. Rennes and PSG at this point are duking it out to win the league. So let's have a look at the player stats before we go and have a look at the lineup and then continue the journey on. So Lewandowski is topping the goal scoring charts with 19 goals at this point. In terms of most assists, Jimmy Cabot has got 9 assists alongside Ruslan Malianovsky. Jeremy Doku is there as well with 8. Most shots, Mr. Lewandowski. He has 94 shots at this point of the season, 19 appearances. Moussa Dembele right there with him, and Christian Benteke popping up at Ream, 80 shots for him. Most man of the match awards is Lewandowski. We are not represented in that category. Most key passes is Ruslan Malinovsky, 82 key passes. Neymar in second place. Maury, Cabot, Lafi all round out the top 5. Most tackles won, Laurent Abigail, 31 years old. He has played 16 games. He had 58 tackles in 16 games, and he tops the list. We then have Ghislaine Conan. We are represented here as Richard. Has had 45 tackles, in 15 appearances. So very impressive from Mr. Richard. Most dribbles made, it's Polly Roller. He has got 76 from his first 18 games. Doku is right up there as well. Samboya, Vita, Diop, Coco, David and Honorat. In terms of goalkeeping stats, most clean sheets, Gautier Larsonnier again. Seems like a sound goalkeeper, even if he's too old to sign for ourselves. And then he has also got least conceded. I didn't actually mean to bring him up on screen, but he has least conceded as well, and we are not on that list. But there are a few other stats at the bottom. Yellow cards, we are definitely there. Hadjam. Red cards, Mr. Camille getting himself one of those. Tackles per 90 minutes, Richard with 3.12. And mistakes leading to goals, we have Bajic in goal and Richard both on one's on 3, one's on 2 mistakes. So it looks going forwards like a position we might need to change is the goalkeeper. But at this point in time, our starting 11, as we look to complete season 3, is going to be Bajic in goal, Hadjam, Kometio, then Dai, Richard, then Bondo, Jabi, Ugachukwu, Tramoni, Pintor, and Mara up top. So we are sound in the goals department up top. 2 wingers I think are decent enough to be playing at this level. Jabi, I'm not too sure about him. He shows flashes and signs of being a brilliant player, but doesn't really do it season out. Bondo is the big expensive signing, so we do need to get a bit more out of him. Then we got Hadjam and Kometio, who are on 2.5 stars, along with Richard, and Bajic in goal on 4. So maybe not change the goalkeeper. Goalkeepers get a hard rap for making mistakes, but yeah, I think he's decent enough. Maybe it's that back line that we need to change to give him a bit of help. So then jump back to the competitions tab, have one last look at the table, and we are now going to be pushing forwards to the end of the 3rd season. When we come back tomorrow, it'll be the 1st of June. The season will have finished, and you will get to find out where we have finished. Right then, if you've enjoyed this episode and you're at this point of the video, firstly, big thank you for doing that. Secondly, if you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, please consider doing so already. It really helps the channel out. I appreciate every single person who takes the time to interact with me right here on YouTube. But for this one, I'm going to wrap it there. Go and check another video out on the channel. But if not, I'll catch you on the next episode of the Paris FC Rebuild.